We have a major update coming from Stan Bowman as he sits down before Edmonton's matchup against the Pittsburgh Penguins tonight at PPG Paints Arena. All that more today on Oilers Digest. But folks, we have a milestone to celebrate. Yes, we were on the road to 2,500 subscribers, and we just hit it with 2,502 as of recording this right now. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for helping us hit that target. But folks, we are on to bigger and better things. Yes, we are on the road to 3,000. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, and the sooner you do it, the sooner we hit that milestone. But again, thanks to each and every one of you who have helped support the channel. But a sit down with Stan. Yes, everybody's favorite Edmonton sports writer, Mark Spector from Sportsnet, sat down with Stan Bowman to get his thoughts on the season so far and to get an update, not towards, just the trade deadline, but also some key players when it comes to the Edmonton Oilers. But at first, his first question was, letting Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway go to the St. Louis Blues after the offer sheets. And of course, many Oiler fans have not let that one go, but Stan Bowman seems to have let it go. He says, that's just the way I am in general. I'm not looking back at all, whether you agree or disagree with it. In our minds, they were the only moves that made sense. And I think if you look at where we are today, there have been some new opportunities that have come from that. I know many people have, clamored for, keeping both Broberg and Holloway, matching both sheets, matching one or the other, matching Broberg, letting Holloway go, matching Holloway, letting Broberg go. But the Oilers, with their new additions, Ty Emberson seemed to have has found his way into the Oiler lineup on the blue line. Of course, things were a little rocky to start the year. You got guys like Kasperi Kapanen, Vasily Podkolzin, filling in the roles that were previously filled by other Oilers, and they found their way through it at all. And another hole that hasn't been filled was the spot of Evander Kane, and Stan Bowman sort of gave us an update on where he was in his timeline. He says, I don't have any new update right now. Evander has been doing his rehab, but as far as his timeline and all that, I don't have anything new to share. We'll need clarity on that for sure. When he's available and all that stuff, it can impact how much cap space we have. They do go hand in hand, and we should be getting an update very soon. Of course, Evander Kane was seen skating at Rogers Place there, all on his lonesome, towards the end of the calendar year, the end of 2024, but yet to get an update on where he was, of course, with his surgery, abdominal core surgeries. That's not a very easy thing to come back from. And the Oilers, hopefully we get some clarity on where Evander Kane is. The sooner the better, if that means, waiting until game one of the playoffs, pulling a Vegas or Tampa, cap circumvention. I am all for it. I mean, if you can't beat them, join them. And it would, help the Oilers at the trade deadline a lot when it comes to not just the LTIR pool, but their deadline cap space. I mean, the more money to work with, the better for Stan Bowman. And when it comes to Stan Bowman and his, mindset towards the trade deadline and, trying to improve the Oilers roster, whether it be, via another waivers pickup, whenever that may be, or a trade, he seems to enjoy the challenge. This is what he said. He said, it is a challenge, but it's something that I actually enjoy, putting the pieces together in a different way, but keeping the key pieces in place that are critical to your team's success. We're discussing who else could we add to the mix that could, be complementary players. I embrace the challenge and try to find players. It's exciting to see when it starts to come together. Of course, Spector asked him, the slow start for Stuart Skinner, would he be bringing another goalie in? But, Stan Bowman, he said he is, comfortable with where the team is at right now, but there are always ways to make teams better. That's just something Stan Bowman has done, whether, it be, trying to figure out the conundrum after Holloway and Broberg left, or even back in Chicago after, the 2010 Stanley Cup, when they had to dismantle the team through, the salary cap woes that team had, and still winning 2 cups after that in 2013 and 2015. So Stan Bowman, he is no stranger to that. But you know who else isn't a stranger to the Oilers? The Pittbsurgh Penguins. It is a Steel Town showdown tonight in Pennsylvania as the Oilers do take on Pittsburgh at 6 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Mountain. Again, another early one. Big fan of these early starts here. And it's nice that it's against the Penguins, as the Oilers have had Pittsburgh's number over the past 5 years. And from Tony Bright here, a little excitement here for Oiler fans at the morning skate this morning. New defense pairings: Nurse Bouchard, Ekholm Stetcher, and Brett Kulak in Ty Emberson, and Josh Brown, the extra defenseman there, the 7th defenseman. But I would not get your hopes up, as Knoblauch confers moving the players around on defense this morning to get a different feel of different combinations, and that's always not a bad thing to have. If if stuff goes awry here, it is always good when you can plug players together who have some sort of familiarity with each other. But Edmonton will be going with the same lineup we saw in Boston. If it's not broken, folks, why fix it? As you can see here, exact same lineup. Stuart Skinner gets the second start in a row tonight against the Penguins. Nugent-Hopkins, McDavid, and Connor Brown, Vasily Podkolzin, Leon Draisaitl, Victor Arvidsson, Jeff Skinner, Adam Henrique, and Zach Hyman, and Kasperi Kapanen, Matisse Janmark, and Corey Perry. On the back end here, Matisse Ekholm and Evan Bouchard, Darnell Nurse, and Josh Brown getting the second game in a row. Not too sure what the problem with Troy Stetcher is, if it's just getting rest, if he's nursing something, no pun intended. But Josh Brown, second straight game in the lineup. And lastly here, Brett Kulak and Ty Emberson. Like I said, Stuart Skinner gets the start in net tonight for the Oilers, coming off of his unofficial shutout. Why not ride the hot hand while you can? But looking at the opposition here, the Pittbsurgh Penguins sitting fifth in the Metropolitan Division right now with a record of 17-17-8 for 42 points. So trying to make their way back into the Metro standings here, and even snagging a wild card spot, or try to snag a wild card spot. They are 4-3-2 in their last 10 games, but riding a 4-game losing streak. And you can see their second straight game for the Oilers there, where the team goal differential that they're playing against not so good, as the Pittsburgh Penguins, giving up 156 goals, and they are not outscoring their mistakes for a sort of a league worst -28. Just looking here on paper here, it's not a bad roster at all, or a bad forward group anyway, with Ricard Raquel, Sidney Crosby, and Brian Rust, Michael Bunting, Cody Glass, and Anthony Beauvillier, Drew O'Connor, Kevin Hayes, and former Oiler Jesse Puljujärvi, big fan favorite, the Bison King as many called him. And finally here, Matt Nieto, Blake Lizotte, and Noel Chari. Of course, a familiar name that many are not seeing on that lineup is Evgeny Malkin. And yes, he missed the game the other night against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and he's a game time decision tonight. So tonight's lineup could be subject to a change involving Evgeny Malkin. But yes, that would be, again, a game time decision in a little under 2.5 hours. On the back end here for the Penguins, Marcus Pettersson, who has been a fan favorite as a target for the Edmonton Oilers to upgrade their defense core, next to Chris Letang with Matt Grzelcyk and Erik Karlsson. And finally here, Owen Pickering and Pierre-Olivier Joseph on the back end, completing that for the Pittbsurgh Penguins. And the projected starter tonight for the Penguins, former Edmonton Oil King Tristan Jarry, whose stats have not been too kind to him so far this year, with a goals against average of 3.43 and a save percentage of .889. Of course, goaltending has not been Pittsburgh's strong suit there, as they are first in the league for goals against with 152. Yes, beating out the other dumpster fires of the National Hockey League with the San Jose Sharks, Columbus Blue Jackets, Philadelphia Flyers, so on and so forth. Even Buffalo. Surprised Buffalo hasn't given up the most goals so far this year, but that bodes well for the Oilers tonight, as they are top 5. Right now, they are 4th in shot attempts. So, the Oilers, the more they shoot, obviously, the more you score, and that always helps them out, and it's helped them out in the past 7 meetings against the Pittsburgh Penguins, as the Oilers have taken all 7 of those, and they have outscored Pittsburgh 37-9 over those past 7 meetings. The last time Pittsburgh did get the win was at Rogers Place before the year 2020, so it was still a different decade here when the Penguins last beat the Edmonton Oilers over 5-2, but the Oilers answering with, another 5-2 win of their own, 5-1, 6-3, 7-2, 6-1, and 2 back-to-back 4-0 shutouts. Of course, the 4-0 shutout last year at the PPG Paints Arena was, something that we did see in Boston the other night, where Calvin Pickard got the start, got injured a little bit, had to go off for concussion spotting, and came back. And of course, Stuart Skinner was in relief, and is kind of, interesting that, it's happened twice over the past, you can see their past couple months. But again, very interesting. It should be an interesting game again tonight. I mean, Crosby, McDavid, it is never a dull moment. Let me know down in the comments what you thought about Stan Bowman's interview. Did you find anything exciting from it? Do you think he's a good GM for the Edmonton Oilers? Do you have enough trust and faith in him to do the right thing for the Edmonton Oilers? And let me know your thoughts about the upcoming game tonight. That is it for today's video. We will be back with a recap tomorrow from tonight's game. Folks, Oilers Penguins in Pittsburgh should be a fantastic one. Take care. Enjoy the game tonight, folks. Let's go Oilers. I'm Matt.